Hello, everybody, and welcome to another ALTTPR League Season 2 race. This week it's Enemizer settings, and we've got a match between DrunkFutureSelf, representing Third Strongest Mole, going up against Flipheal, representing 16-bit Nerds. With me today in the commentary booth is Nihon Tiger. How's it going?
That's going good, PRD Wong. As always, hope you're doing well too.
Yeah, I haven't really watched any of the Enemizer seeds yet, so I'm expecting some crazy things to happen.
Oh, absolutely. And just to kind of give a real quick recap here about what Enemizer is, for those who may not know about what we're talking about here. So what's going to happen here is that all of the normal enemies are going to be in different places. Now, they may be in their same place that they are normally, but they may also be in a different place entirely, which can be kind of tricky. if you're expecting a certain enemy in one place and then there's a different one that can't be killed with what you've got blocking progress. So that can always happen. But more importantly, we've got the full boss shuffle going on this week, and that is where all the bosses except the 2 Agaphytes and Ganon are shuffled around, and 3 of the bosses are in the pool twice. So there are a couple of restrictions on that. The Moldorm fights, I should say, can't have Cold Stare, Vitreous. It can. I'm sorry. I'm trying to think here. But you can have Cold Stare, Vitreous, Moldorm, Helmasaur, or Mothula in those locations. Trinux cannot be in Mothula's arena, and Blind's not the second Land Molas fight. On top of that, really just no change to health or damage from any of the enemies as they move around here, so they will be as they normally are.
Yep, and the runners will be getting started shortly here. Looks like after 2 weeks, third strongest mole have yet to pick up a win, so DrunkFutureSelf will be looking to be the first one to do that. And on the other side, 16-bit nerds, they did pick up 1 win, and I believe it was by Flipheal last week. Not 100% sure, but I think he did get the 1 win for them, and they're off.
Yes, indeed, and that looks like we're starting with the green potion. That will be particularly nice to find for our runners. It means that Sick Kid immediately becomes in play here for Kakariko, and there's our first little bit of Enomizer fun. You can see some of the enemies are displaced here. There was a Helmasaur running around, and there's a little lizard there.
Alright, I don't know if DrunkFutureSelf was scared off by that red guard, but he's going straight into Kakariko.
And indeed, DrunkFutureSelf looks like gonna go check out the Lion's Hideaway here, as Flipheal is gonna head up into Lost Woods and do all the checks that we like to see up here.
Yeah, Flipheal skipping that piece of heart in the mushroom spot. I mean, okay, I guess. I mean, normally that's probably a no-brainer, but an Enomizer, especially early on, you might want to try to beef up your health a little bit, because there could be some hard-hitting enemies.
Yeah, you never really quite know what you're gonna get next here, so it can be a little bit tough to figure it all out. But you can see that we've got the bottle vendor, of course, having a nice big 20 there, is DrunkFutureSelf making the rounds around Kakariko, and I'm sure Flipheal will be joining shortly.
DrunkFutureSelf finding those bombs in well, so you'll be able to check back here.
Indeed, we had a nice arrow sync as well. That was really nice. Oh, I think both of our runners have just found something in the village that will be helpful. It looks like we've got a glove on DrunkFutureSelf's side, and Flipheal went to Sick Kid, and Sick Kid's got the flute. So
yeah, we're gonna want to watch Flipheal if he goes into Chicken Hut. Chicken House is gonna be a dangerous spot in Enomizer, because it could be pretty nasty. Okay, today's pretty okay. Just a thief to kind of bother you.
yeah, that's not too bad. Oh, well. So this is interesting. Having the we will have both runners. I presume we'll have the Titans mitts at the end of their trip around Kakariko here. Looks like Flipheal is heading up to the well to go get that second one, and I think DrunkFutureSelf gonna start making the trip down south to get that one that's in the Chicken Hut.
Yeah, it's kind of. I mean, talking about Chicken Hut, sometimes you can have like a bunch of guards that chase you around, and on 3 hearts, they can kill you pretty quickly. But
I mean, the fun of, you get like 4 ball and chain guards hiding out there. That's gonna be a bad time.
Yeah, the other danger spot, I would say, is if these runners take their glove and drop down to the back of escape. That room can also be very surprising. Alright, so it looks like Mitts and Flute in Kakariko today. That's pretty good. Alright, both runners have activated their flute now. DrunkFutureSelf not checking the library and race game. Gonna go straight for Ice Rod Cave. I completely missed the map check. Did you see anything on Flip's side?
Nah, I missed it as well, unfortunately. It's very, very quick.
I did catch that sword on library though, so the runners will probably want to come back there with the boots.
Yeah, I think that's probably a wise decision here, especially at the start.
So far no weapons. I mean they only have bombs. So it'll be interesting to see if they head into Mini Moldorm Cave.
And that gets to be the interesting part here. So you get to see some options on where everybody wants to go.
Alright, looks like we got some shadows today in Mini Moldorm Cave. We'll see if Flip takes them on with bombs. Even when they're not visible, the bombs can hit them. So it looks like he's doing a good job so far.
Yeah, it looks like he's doing a pretty good job here. It's a little tricky sometimes, but if you can get the timings on when they go into their hole just right, then that's probably for the best. Just to kind of time that out.
Yeah, nice job there. But not really finding that much except for that mushroom.
Yeah, mushroom could be something, but we'll have to see.
The boomerang also has a little bit extra value in Enemizer because it can help you stun some really annoying enemies. Alright, we're gonna see the back of Escape here. What kind of horrors it holds. Alright, pretty tame today. That's good.
It's always a pleasant sight. And let's see what's in these chests. Well, not much, it looks like, unfortunately.
Flipheal's got his Dark World access with the Pearl in next to Uncle.
Right, and you have to feel that Drunk Future Self's probably heading up that way eventually. maybe after this, just to see what's in there, because this looks like a nice play into Dark Cross.
Yeah, all the dark rooms are... No, is this dark room or Old Man Cave?
Oh, it's Old Man
Yeah,
Cave.
it was old.
Yes.
The dark rooms are all a lot scarier in Enemizer, obviously, since you don't know where the enemies are. And Old Man is kind of doubly so, because if you die after rescuing the Old Man, you get sent back to that dark room. So if you can't get your way past some like really hard hitting enemies, you could be stuck there for a long time.
Yep. Or you do that, and you just have to kind of remember how to get back. Thankfully, one of the nice things is that the bats are normally perched up on the ledge there. So usually
Right.
what that means is if it's a non-flying enemy, they'll just be stuck up there. You just have to walk by.
Yeah, I think the worst ones are probably if you get some rollers, then they can just, and you can't see them, so you just randomly get hit by rollers, which do a ton of damage.
Oh yeah, that would be pretty bad. That's maybe like the worst seed I could think of would be Enemizer, but everything is now rollers. Good luck.
Alright, our two runners just trying to see what's over in the light world, I guess. Now, if they are brave, they can go into Eastern. Looks like Eastern is a green pendant, and then I think I saw a red crystal on Desert. But, so another thing about Enemizer is like the enemies like the... What are they called? The Igors in Eastern Palace, they're no longer there. So you can get all the way to the boss without the bow.
Yeah, so now becomes kind of the big question mark of where do I go from here? And with that Moon Pearl Titan's Mitt combination, you have to think that maybe there's a play into Shed here. It looks like indeed that's where Flipheal appears to be going.
Looks like Misery Mire is quaked today. And he is rewarded with those boots.
Which is going to mean sword access. So, yeah, that was indeed the play. Plus, we get the additional areas to check now with those boots. You have King's Tomb and you've got Bunk Rocks.
DrunkFutureSelf having a little bit more trouble in the mini Mulderm cave, but he gets it, which is very nice. It's not easy to do. Yeah, that sword is a big deal. There are a large number of bosses that can be defeated with sword and hammer, which Flipheal has just discovered.
I was about to say, yeah, with that hair showing up, got a lot of stuff now. Looks like those boots locked. So, whew.
Yeah, I believe that takes care of every enemy except for Trinix, Argus, and Cold Stare.
That sounds about right.
You can see Flipheal is using his knowledge that the tier 1 tree pole does give him 80 rupees, so whenever he gets a chance, he's trying to grab those, probably for Zora money.
I think we just got our lumberjack ledge checked, and it looks like it's going to be bombs. So, Egonut item required, and presumably now with that hammer, I think we're not having to worry about Aga 1 anymore.
Alright, Flip picks up his sword, so that'll be very nice. DrunkFutureSelf making the eastern play, it does seem kind of risky. Like, technically you can get past the dark rooms if the enemies aren't so bad, but if he tries to go all the way for the boss, there's only a few bosses he could kill. So coming in here without a weapon is kind of a risk, I would say. Looks like Pod is 5-6 crystal, and our other two pendants are on Ice Palace and Turtle Rock.
So I don't think Flipheal's gone back and gotten Bonk Rocks yet, which could be nothing, and they could also be problematic if there's actually something of value there.
Yeah, it's interesting. He passed it on the way to Lumberjack. I thought maybe I missed it, but if you didn't see him get it, then yeah. Flipheal now going into Thieves Town. Because Blind is not necessarily the boss, you can go straight for the boss room, and the boss will be waiting for you there. And you don't need to bomb the attic either. Wow, something hit DrunkFutureSelf for like a lot of hearts. I want to say like 5 or 6 hearts in this dark room. So Flipheal finding the hookshot in Thieves Town. Looks like he's making all the plays today. Finding lots of progression.
Indeed. And it looks like as well we're going to be heading to the back here, so we'll get to check these additional chests and see if there's anything interesting. Oh, we get our first boss check there. It's going to be Trident hanging out in a blind spot. Not particularly fun.
Yeah, at least this boss room is relatively easy to get back to. Really kind of the nightmare scenario in Enemizer race is when you go all the way to the bottom of Ice Palace and find a Trinix there that you can't kill. Alright, this room in Thieves Town is also usually pretty scary. And it does claim Flipheal. Which reminds me that the Cane of Berna and the Cape do also have kind of added importance in these Enemizer seeds. It can help get you out of a lot of jams.
That's a really good point. Having those extra, what we would normally call kind of safeties, or less safeties here in Enemizer, the more kind of helpful utilities.
Flipheal deciding to use the hookshot to stun the guards this time around. Sometimes you kind of get caught up into thinking, okay, well, I can just clear this room normally, and you forget that you have these kinds of items at your disposal that you can use to help.
Flip looks like he's gonna go for the key, the big chest, but doesn't have that small key. He's gonna need to open up the door.
Yep, means it's probably inside that big chest.
Yeah, because he finds a much better price than Blind Cell there with the Samaria.
Yep, definitely a good find. I see some runners, sometimes they decide to skip the back of Thieves Town because you don't have to do it. You could just go straight for the boss. So Flip went back for, I think, 2 items in the back, and he's been rewarded.
Now we're getting to see over on Flipheal's side. One of the my favorite thing is the Witness, the good old Hammer Dash. Hammer Bags.
Wow. Yeah, this hammer screen was nice. You didn't have any enemies blocking you from doing the hammer dash, and Flipheal was almost gonna pass it by, it looks like, but he maybe he remembered that he could do it, and he's went back and got his bow and arrow.
Mm-hmm.
It will be needed for Pod. Alright, we see DrunkFutureSelf is going to be heading for the back first without checking the boss. But that hellway was pretty... or the room after the hellway was pretty bad as we saw Flip go through it, so... let's see what happens to DrunkFutureSelf. Ooh, hitting the spike.
Ooh, looks like Flipheal's got Master Sword now, though, off Stumpy. Stumpy, you did the thing for once. I'm proud of you.
Flipheal doing Hype Cave check. But yeah, DrunkFutureSelf kind of operating under a handicap right now of not having done the quick mire check before. So he's just walking around while Flips gets to dash everywhere. Although Hype Cave looks like was a bust today.
And that happens unfortunately sometimes. Just gotta kind of roll with it.
Here we have another safety item. It's true that sometimes you can catch some fairies to help you in these Enemizer seeds.
But I'm gonna have to wonder if that's a meme that Flipheal saw that Bugnet picked it up, or maybe there's a good reason for that I'm not thinking about right now. Could be useful maybe in dealing with something here in Enemizer should he come across it. Should they come across it, you know?
That's right, DrunkFutureSelf just picked up his first sword. No wonder he's been having problems. He never did check the library and race games, so he didn't know that the sword was waiting for. Oh well, I mean he doesn't have the boots anyways.
Great. Still hasn't picked those up from the Mire Shed area.
We see that Pod is not bow locked today. Although the red mimics are not in that room, so you can still pass that room without the bow. I believe the logic still puts those two chests behind, locked behind bow.
Hello everybody, I'd like to welcome you to my first recorded online lecture session. It's a reproduction, and I'm just going to go in and get the tool.
Oh, that is a favorable, I think that's a favorable mimic room right there. You got some things that you can kill pretty quickly, not have to worry about it too much to get that door unlocked.
Yeah, that's definitely the, I guess, fun thing about Enemizer. Some of the really hard rooms you walk in, you're like, oh, this is a piece of cake. And then some rooms that you normally consider easy, you walk in and then you're completely surprised.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, Flip doing all that hard work and getting the ice rod as a prize will be needed.
So looks like Flip left behind the smith because he was probably planning to go into pod and he knew that you can't keep the smith if you go talk to Kiki. So he decided not to check Smith, but DrunkFutureSelf checked it and it turned out to be nothing today. Look at this bridge here. Alright, Flip does a good job getting by it. a lot of the narrow bridges in this game can suddenly become a lot more threatening. Yeah, things like the spikes that you saw. You could have a small spike going back and forth really quickly, or chain chomps on the bridge.
You're getting to see Flip go ahead and maneuver through the dark maze.
Yeah,
Wall master. That's not good usually.
yeah, but this is good execution by Flipheal. Dark rooms, I think, as I mentioned before, are definitely a lot scarier in Enemizer. We'll see if he even goes for the back.
Yeah, he's gonna go for the back. It looks like. I guess we didn't see a save and quit there, so. Or oh, wait a minute. Actually, what we're seeing, that's pretty neat little tech there. Realizing that there is a Wallmaster in the Dark Maze, just decides to get Wallmaster ganked all the way back to the start. So, my guess is no, probably not. Might just be going to the back to take care of, well, I would normally say Helmasaur King, but we don't quite know who will be back there today.
Yeah, he'll be in trouble if it's Cold Stare or Trinix. But this seems like a really bold play. You go into that room where all the turtles are normally, and he doesn't have Fire Rod. Oh, did he pick up a medallion? So he could probably bombos everything in there. Then it's not as bad.
He did. He got Bombos.
Yeah, it was probably in the dark, and that's why we didn't even see it.
Yeah, it might have been that second chest in the dark room that we didn't see what the item was.
I didn't see if DrunkFutureSelf has found anything on this east side of Death Mountain that he's clearing out. Looks like he's just gotten Burna. Oh, looks like he's found another sword too. All the safety items up on Death Mountain. So DrunkFutureSelf also getting the cape.
So yeah, just some temporarily displaced Armos Knights hanging out in the Dark World equivalent of their Light World location. And Flipheal gets it done. DrunkFutureSelf, what was that? Wow, that was cool actually. Did you see that, PRD1?
I saw that he picked up his Fire Rod and Blue Mail.
He did, but he got the hook shot to just barely clip the far pot because he picked up the initial pot and couldn't get back across.
Welcome back, everybody.
So, yeah, I had to kind of do it that way, and it was pretty cool to see. That just that precision that you need to get that done.
Yeah, I think as long as you overlap by just 1 pixel, you can grab the pot.
Yep.
People having a little bit of issue here, trying to get to the old man. Meanwhile, I feel like DrunkFutureSelf does need to get to the Mire Shed for those boots relatively soon.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of one that you can see here. Poor Flipheal having to deal with this. Like we mentioned the ball and chain guard earlier, but yeah, this is not fun.
Flipheal making good use of that knowledge about those bonkable rocks having a fairy inside, so he gets a nice health refill. And with that hammer, he is going to be able to clear out hair, unless there's a... Let's see, what could be up there? I think he'll be able to take care of any boss that's up there. Trinex can't be up there.
Right. I think so. I think it should be good.
Flipheal getting the Hera pot after a few tries, and meanwhile DrunkFutureSelf's trying to deal with this pinball room, but gets wall mastered. Second time around, DrunkFutureSelf breaking out the cape. I think this is a kind of a common scene that you'll see. You just kind of autopilot and say, "Well, I can get past this room without any items. I'll just go through it." And then once you die or you get wall mastered, then you realize, "Oh yeah, I have the Cane of Burna, I have the cape or something." And you break it out the second time.
Absolutely.
Flipheal taking Mothula down at the top of Tower of Hera for his second crystal. We'll see if DrunkFutureSelf gives us a look at the boss of Skullwoods. That conveyor belt and those spikes in Skullwood can complicate a lot of boss fights.
Oh, and running into some trouble there with the Hinox blocking the fire shots.
Just a Moldorm today, which usually spazzes out in Skullwoods.
Yep. That seems to be very much the case right here.
And the number of eyes that Moldorm has is randomized in Enemizer Seeds. Today we get 4 eyes. Flipheal having sort of a similar problem that DrunkFutureSelf did, but in this case the Gibdos was in the way. So we're at 42 minutes in. Flipheal's got all the items that he needs to be able to defeat any boss. So it looks like he's looking for Mirror, Flipper, and Quake at this point, I want to say.
Yeah, I think that's the case. It'll be really interesting to see where they show up at. A half magic as Flipheal goes in to do Spike Cave is going to make it a lot easier to get through.
DrunkFutureSelf is giving the back of Thieves Town another try. He's kind of better equipped this time around. Meanwhile, Flipheal, I gotta believe that this is gonna be a play for Skullwoods after getting his Fire Rod, and he might also decide to take out that Trinex in Thieves Town since he's in the area.
course, DrunkFutureSelf going through here does not have that ice rod that we found in Palace of Darkness, so we're eventually going to get to the end and find a very unhappy Trinex waiting. As Flipheal is having fun dealing with trying to powder anti-fairies there and miss the Wallmaster.
Yeah, it's always not fun to find anti-fairies in that room. As you can see at the very end, one of those anti-fairies went up to the very top of the room, and once they get stuck in there, they don't come out. It gets hard for you to go check that chest. Alright, this looks like a good play by DrunkFutureSelf finally. Gonna find his boots, which we know leads to a bunch of other progression.
Gonna be very interesting to see where everybody heads now. Still looking for those last few items here to get through to the go mode phase of our seed tonight here.
Alright, DrunkFutureSelf on the right track now. Finding his hammer right after Boots, and then taking that to clear out Pod, so he'll get the goodies in here. Bye-bye, Kiki.
Kiki is not randomized in any of the game modes. Maybe we should make that thing, Kiki Miser. And a shovel there for Flip, plus the crystal, of course, for taking care of Trinex in Thieves Town. Shovel does open up a single spot, but who knows? Maybe there is value hanging out there.
Flipheal taking a minute to rest, maybe consider his options. And this looks like a current jump on Flipheal's side in order for him to go and check out Catfish.
Indeed. Taking our friend on a world tour as well. We haven't seen one of these in a while. This is going to be almost a full world tour too, probably. If there are still locations that need to be checked.
I think he's done everything south of here already, so this will probably be the end.
I always like seeing. That's right. He did go to Hype Cave already. I like seeing it wrap around the Hype Cave, and then it just ends up being like, yeah, this guy followed you around for probably no reason.
Oh, when did DrunkFutureSelf pick up this bow? I must have missed it somewhere. Chat telling me that there was a bow in Skull Woods, which is interesting because Flipheal went through Skull Woods, so I guess he left a bow behind there. Unless he, yeah, because he doesn't have silvers. Look at the health of both of our runners, and they are on the low side. And this is what tends to happen with Enemizer, that everything's different and you just kind of get hit here and there, and before you know it, you're only on 3 or 4 hearts. I would say in general, these Enemizer settings is really going to reward players that are able to react quickly to the enemy placements and be able to keep their health up, because you just need to die a couple times and that time can really add up. Flipheal is starting to run out of checks. You can see that he's going back to a bunch of places that he didn't go to earlier. So I'm not too sure where this progression is going to be. There's not that many places that we've seen. But go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Finish up your...
I want to say that we haven't seen Zora and Purple Chess. Like, these are kind of options.
Yeah, I was really just about to add that you're right, that we really haven't seen a lot of progression at, for quite a while here. We've been just kind of hunting these one-off locations to see if we can find something. And it's gonna be interesting to see if something turns up here.
Chat is telling us that neither runner has done front of escape. I remember DrunkFutureSelf went into... Oh, I guess he died partway through or something.
Yeah, we haven't really seen that, but I feel like that's a check that they don't necessarily want to make right. No, but Flip going out from Hobo, maybe not saving quitting, could be looking to make the Zora play here.
Yeah, definitely. Brings up another point though, that in Enemizer, doing the water walk or fake flippers can be really dangerous in Enemizer. You could run into an enemy, and if you get hit, yeah.
Oh, I was just about to say, he's got the bird following him. That's not ideal, and yeah, that's the one you maybe really don't want to see when you're trying to do that.
Yep. Randomizer does have a patch that will automatically kill you instead of hard locking you.
Because we'd rather just have a death as punishment enough. We would not want to have a runner hard block and have to start over again.
I don't think Flip has anything here except for Purple Chess, so we'll see that now. DrunkFutureSelf clearing out Pod. So that's his second crystal. Let's see where he goes from here. Probably Pyramid to Catfish.
Mm-hmm. So we still don't have that information, or lose that intel on what's up on Zora Ledge and all those locations up there. And I think with the knowledge that there's a bird up there, we're probably not going to see it until we actually get flippers.
Flipheal's gonna check out Eastern Palace. I know DrunkFutureSelf checked some of it before dying in the dark room. I can't remember what he found. Interesting that Drunk Future Self hasn't gone back to the library to pick up his third sword. He did see it, if I remember correctly.
Maybe doing it
Maybe
now?
he's doing it now. Okay. He had to wait until I reminded him, I guess.
Ding! Time is 1 hour, 5 seconds. Please pick up your sword from the library. Thank you.
Alright, so in Eastern, it looks like we do have a vanilla big key. So this is all out of logic at this point.
Is correct.
So as far as we know, I do believe the answer has to be on Zora or the front of Escape. Which includes Darkcross.
I guess we'll see if we find a lamp somewhere over here soon. Now that's an interesting Eastern Palace dark key room there.
Yeah, also can definitely be scary. Luckily he got the butter sword right before to help out with those hinoxes. Keynox, however you pronounce it.
And oh, hello. We have Vitreous hanging out in Eastern Palace. But I think if I remember here, because the floor is coded differently, the nice thing is you can walk right up to the side there, like we're seeing Flipheal do, and just slash away without taking that harder damage.
Yep, goes down quickly to butter sword and a few arrows. So Flipheal's got a green pendant. Drunk Future Self did kill Trinix in Thieves Town, so he's up to 3 crystals. Alright, we're gonna get that look at Escape. Zora is too heavily protected today.
At least till we get the flippers, right?
Right. Alright, 2 new checks here. All right, so I have been corrected that they do have ether, which I did not realize. So that does open up Turtle Rock.
Oh, that's a check that we don't want to see, and unfortunately, looking like we might have lost DFS's stream here. Might have to get that back here. Might have dropped, but hopefully we can get that back shortly.
All right, I hope he's made a local recording.
Yeah. Usually, that is what we ask anyone who runs any of the tournaments to do, is just make local recording as a fail-safe in case of situations like this, and that way it gives us an opportunity as well to check things out. Make sure that no funny business happening, which is very, very, very rarely a thing that you have to worry about.
Yeah, meanwhile, we'll get to see the race from Flipheal's point of view, where we don't know if Drunk Future Self is ahead or not.
And the Zoran getting the mirror out of it, so how about that?
That pretty much opens up Desert Palace for him, for Flip. Yeah, he's gonna check K45 on the way.
Not a bad call, I think, to check that.
Alright, so after K45, looks like Flip might take it all the way up to Graveyard Ledge as well.
It's not a bad decision.
I guess, I mean, if he wants to check Bonk Rocks, which he forgot about before, it's kind of on the way.
It really does feel like a I don't want to go to Turtle Rock play here. It's a pendant, really can't blame him, but we're still Flipper's Quake away from being in go mode here at 108.
Yeah, I think I would have rather gone to Desert Palace. I mean, that's a crystal dungeon, you can full clear it. He's gonna turn up his nose at this fourth bottle here. It does look like here on IRC that Drunk Future Self has timed out. So I hope he's still playing the game with a local recording, and when his internet comes back up, you know, he'll come back online. Flipheal is making this play to Turtle Rock. I'm not sure if he's forgotten that he can do Desert Palace, or maybe he just feels really behind and he feels like this is the gamble he needs to make.
I feel like you might feel like he's behind with that mirror placement being open, Zora having been open for so long. Whenever you come across something like that, PRD, I really feel like it kind of burrows into the back of your mind that you're just like, this has been here all along and I just got this now. Why did I do that? You know, so and so probably has this, and they've rocket shipped off to whatever.
Does look like he's changed his mind. So I'm gonna say he forgot about Desert Palace. But now he's gonna feel even more behind. And did he forget to check Bonk Rocks again?
He did. But probably still wise to go ahead and clear out a crystal dungeon if you can clear one out now, rather than the one-off checks that you may not need, or doing a pendant dungeon that you really may not need to clear out at all.
Alright, we got one item out of Desert Palace. It's not the answer. Killing the boss here will give us access to the pyramid as well, so we'll have to see what the answer is. Flipheal's gonna mirror out and see if that last item is on the boss.
Not a bad gamble. Not a bad gamble at all. You know.
Yeah, you have to kill
You're
the
gonna-
boss anyways, right?
Yeah, it's gonna spit you back out at the entrance, the back entrance there anyway. So if you need to, you can go back in just really quickly.
So, fun fact: the game doesn't actually check. It doesn't count those bats as an enemy. So Flip didn't have to kill those bats in order to open the door.
Interesting. I think a lot of people just kill them anyways because they're in the way.
Yeah, I often forget too. Sometimes I like leave them as the last enemy to kill, and then the door opens early, and I'm like, oh. And we have Blind here in Desert Palace today. Blind is a lot more annoying in Enemizer because you can't use the regular script anymore. And the second item is here, so good call by Flipheal, not having to check the rest of Desert Palace. I might have missed it again, but I kind of feel like Flipheal should have checked checkerboard.
I think so.
A nice dash with the bomb there. And the answer is not here.
Nope, he's gonna get a fairy refill. And he's gonna get a green potion for his trouble.
Alright, looks like we're going up to Turtle Rock. So, without the lamp, the laser bridge is not in logic. So if we're gonna find something in Turtle Rock, it's gonna be before that. It looks like DrunkFutureSelf's internet has gone out, so we're not sure where he is in the game. I think watching this from Flipheal's point of view, I think we feel like we're not in that great shape. You know, Turtle Rock is kind of like the last place we have to go to check.
So unfortunately for Flipheal, yeah, it is a trip into the very unfortunately having to go into Total Rock here, as I fumble my words, like, for whatever reason. But yeah, let's since we have Moment Purity, let's discuss Pedestal, because I feel like we should discuss it at least once, just to discuss what's not on there. So obviously the thing that's not on there, we know that the silvers aren't on there, obviously. We know that the flippers aren't on there because of Ice Palace.
Right.
So the only thing that can be on there is Quake.
Yep. I mean, I guess no, lamp can't be on there either. Okay. Yep.
Because we technically need lamp to get through the single dark room we've got here, plus the dark rooms in Eastern Palace. If we're talking logic.
Okay. I thought for a second Flipheal was just gonna pass that key by, but he went back and got it.
Actually, yeah, not so much the back room anymore, because that's right. It's one of the things that they changed with version 31 is they took some of the lamp logic rooms out, and that back room, the dark room with the torches in Eastern Palace, is no longer on the list, so to speak. I see chat's also mentioning a book could be on there and something could be on a tablet. That is true. That's a good point. That's a very mean point, but that's a good point.
It's a really interesting bunny sprite for this piranha plant there. I'm gonna just take a little bit of extra time here, get a refill using that bunny beam.
That's one of the interesting things here we're seeing with Flipheal going through Mimic Cave and then finding Quake in Mimic Cave. Yeah, that kills off Ped. But that's one of the interesting little changes that we have with the Enemizer is you have to have a way to be able to get back there, right? To kill off something that might be hanging out there. There's item in that lamp. But yeah, we got to see the fun mimic cave change to prevent any soft locks, and we also got to find Quake and lamp.
Yeah, the point being that there could be some enemies behind those blocks that you would not be able to get to if we didn't make that small change.
Absolutely. So it's a quality of life change, but also a change to prevent the game from soft locking. And of course, no fire bars in the basement roller coaster here inside of Turtle Rock. But the good news is there's a lot of nice enemies, and even better news, it's still the same as it is, even with the fire bars, so you don't have to worry about it. Flipheal dashing between the lasers here, gets that key. Normally it leads us to Trinex, the big 20 only, but perhaps we'll have a different boss hanging out here tonight.
Yeah, we've already seen a Trinex, and each boss has to appear at least once, so odds are we're going to see something different. But it is another Armos.
Yeah, a little surprised by that, actually. Thought we might see something else.
So that is our second Armos that we saw. They were also hanging out in pods, so from now on, there will be no other Armos. Armai?
Yeah. So we're just a flipper away from go mode now, with 5 crystals for Flipheal. I feel like the next decision here makes itself pretty pretty logically obvious at this point. Where we're going? It's gonna be Flute to 6 and into Misery Mire.
Alright, here's another interesting room. There's a lot of enemies that can get shuffled around in here. Flipheal's making short work of it with his butter sword. There's a big key. That's a nice thing to find. Flipheal's gonna go ahead and take that big key straight to the boss, hoping to find the item.
Yeah, this would be the Godmire if you were just hoping to go straight to the back and go mode this. Could still be an item in here, but I think Flip's gonna go ahead and just bite the bullet and get the tough stuff done here and go back to that boss and come back in if need be.
Yeah, so the answer isn't here in Mire. I don't think I saw either runner check Dark Cross, and Flip has skipped Checkerboard Cave as well.
Yeah, I feel like in this scenario, checkerboard first since it's right there. And oh, well, hello.
Flipheal's not even caring about stepping into that goo here in Vitruce's room. Flipheal, maybe he decided to go straight for the boss because he realized he forgot checkerboard here. So he's gonna check that first before probably going back into Mire, unless
Maybe.
the flippers are.
Sorry about that, didn't mean to cut you off.
It's fine. Only a single rupee.
And we gotta get these checks taken care of. Simply make sure that you're doing the job of clearing everything out.
DrunkFutureSelf is back up. I don't know where he is, like whether he's streaming from where he got cut off or if this is where he is currently. So keep an eye out on what he has.
Yep. But welcome back, DrunkFutureSelf. Good to have you here. Appears to be wherever DFS is. Appears to be making the mirror play here.
Yeah, all I can tell right now is that he has not found flippers yet.
Yes, that is obvious. Oh yeah, he's got a. Looks like he's got a. Oh, maybe not. I think we'll just have to check and see how many crystals DFS has here. Maybe they picked up Quake as well.
I think I saw his. Yeah, I think I saw his menu. He didn't have Quake.
He's got a fourth crystal. He's gone somewhere, so he has been doing something after after that. Maybe up in the Tower of Hera.
Yeah, I think
He does have a 4th crystal, yes. So
Flipheal's got to go all the way to the big key chest here for that last item.
I have a feeling, for DFS, perhaps might not have been a bad thing to have dropped off, because I'm guessing if we've only got one additional crystal and we just picked up mirror, that there were a lot of checks in between that didn't really return anything. Oh, and looks like Flipheal. Yes. Flipheal's got the flippers.
All right,
So Flipheal. Oh, yep, at 135. You were just about to say the same thing I was. At 131, roughly about 131.40, Flipheal and go mode off the Swamp Palace.
it feels like it ended up being a fairly linear chain of items there at the end. So Flipheal's probably feeling a little bit better about himself. DrunkFutureSelf going with Gaina Samaria strats here. Ooh, I wasn't even watching his health, but takes a death here. Flipheal's gonna take the regular route. The Racing Council did vote on some new glitches, including Diver Down, but looks like Flip is not gonna bother. For Go Mode Swamp, it only saves a little bit of time, so he's just gonna go down the regular way here. Alright, take 2 for DrunkFutureSelf. It's got 2 heads down. I would take out the Kana Samaria. I'm sorry, the Kana Burna. Makes blind really easy. He stuck to sword and takes him down.
Absolutely. Well, I think I know. I think you know what time that means it is, PRD Wong.
Yeah, it's time for the GT Big Key guessing game. Get your guess in between 1 and 22, and we'll see which chest Flipheal finds the Ganon's Tower Big Key in.
Indeed. I like to say that I always guess whatever number I can fumble my fingers around and put in the system first before everyone else. But I think probably location-wise, I would expect it to be closer to its vanilla location today, behind the second Armos Knights fight. So I put it in 16, cross my fingers. Let's go for it.
Well, yeah, if you want to be mean to the runners, that's definitely where you want to put it, because a lot of the bosses become kind of frightening when you have to fight them on ice. DrunkFutureSelf making a play for Ice Palace here. Doesn't seem like he's gonna find anything, although he is checking to see that it is a pendant. Alright, make sure you get your guesses in. I am gonna close it out as soon as Flipheal enters Ganon's Tower.
Well, Floyd, you got to pick one number and guess it. Unfortunately, all the numbers, while the correct choice to guarantee you a win is unfortunately not a valid answer for the bot.
Alright, Flipheal's gonna go left side first. Gonna see what's on the torch.
Yep. Just the big 20, and keep in mind here that the number we'll be guessing off of will be off Flipheal's side here. Just in case you're ever in a really close race in the future, it's always going to be whoever goes in first. So, if you're new and don't know that, now you know. Oh!
That was the third chess, really quick.
Absolutely. And Ultros is going to be the lucky recipient of 14 points. Congratulations.
Here we get a nice reminder in these rooms that Ganon's Tower is not locked by the bow either.
And it looks like this flip's going to bonk across and go into the room that proves that bonking is a legitimate strategy.
Yep, some of these rooms in the gauntlet can be kind of scary, but today it looks like just some red Baris and Stalfos, so not too bad so far. It's a nice use of the fire rod to prevent the Baris from splitting up into two smaller ones.
Mhm.
And Butter Sword making these enemies go down really quickly. Helmasaur, while a shooter is trying to get you at the same time.
Not fun. Not fun at all. It's like that's the beauty of this room is that it didn't have to do anything more to make it more difficult and just put a Medusa in there and just have it fire at you while you're trying to fight a boss. Like that just adds an extra layer of difficulty.
I think that's the common theme for all the bosses in here, right? You got an ice floor, that Medusa shooter, and it's a narrow platform for a Moldorm refight.
Mm-hmm.
You got one. Oh,
I actually just learned something there from Flipheal, unintentionally actually. The bombs that the bomb throwing guards throw actually count as part of the enemy because the door didn't open till that bomb blew up.
yep, the projectiles count as enemies.
Huh, today I learned.
You can see on that narrow bridge in that torch room, we had a rude spike.
The collapsing torch room there where the floor falls out. That might have been the kindest in this room too. Holy cow! Wow. Those are just some nice rooms.
One thing that Flip will want to watch out for is the room after this, this vanilla four-eyed Moldorm we got here. Sometimes a wall master can spawn and will take you all the way back down to the bottom of the tower.
Oh yeah, that would be worst case scenario. We will see what we've got here coming up in the room. No, the Stoffhouse may have given him a brief heart attack thinking it was a wall master, but no. He's good to go, and from here on out, everything we see will be as you would see in the regular version of the game. Starting off with Aga 2.
It's a nice Aga 2 fight there, 3 cycles.
Very nice fight. 2-1-3. Just barely missing out on the 2-2-2. But Flip doing a really nice job reflecting the fireballs back at Aga, and now some fun with sprites that fall through the floor.
DrunkFutureSelf running a little bit low on health here.
And while Flip is on the Ganon fight, we were supposed to bring the snacks and we forgot. Ganon is not a happy pig.
to phase 3. We will have to do some silverless Ganon hits here. Flip left the other bow in the front of Skullwoods, it looks like.
Yes. And indeed, it looks like Ganon does tell us that you find the arrows in Skullwoods, which means that Flip pretty much knows where they are now. But it's too late to go get them. He's got the torch glitch activated. We just gotta get these sword spins in here.
Yep, 12 hits and Ganon will go down. Just don't want to get a fall.
Right. So then you're starting all over again. Plus, if you've used on these safeties up, then they are they're no longer available. His DrunkFutureSelf looks like is working on that Turtle Rock Armos fight. Silver's gonna melt him away super easy. And that looks to be it. Just gotta walk across a bridge here, and Flipheal is gonna finish up, and we'll pick up the second win for the 16-bit nerds. Just make it official now.
Yep, GG's to Flipheal, finishing with an official SRL time of 1:47.37.
Indeed, get those GGs in chat, everybody. And looks like, unfortunately for third strongest mole, they will be having to wait another match to pick up that first win. Pretty solid effort though from DrunkFutureSelf. Just ran into a few troubles with the internet, and just some of the checks didn't end up paying off, you know. But that's the way that rando can be.
Yeah, with the different enemies, it's definitely a lot harder. So we can expect this week to see a lot of runners having more trouble.
Yeah, Enemizer is by no means an easy mode to get through. It's very difficult. So definitely not a knock on DFS's skill level at all. All these runners are very, very good at what they do. But it's just really tough, and it's one of the things too with this league. You're gonna find that you've got to have a winner and a loser, and when you've got, you know, even with the even matchup, someone's gonna have to win, someone's gonna have to lose, and sometimes the luck just does not work out for you, and it's nothing that you really could have did.
Joined by Flipheal. GG's Flipheal.
Thank you.
So what were your thoughts going through that scene?
Well, let's see. The beginning went perfectly. That was just unreal. I had almost too much to do, so that was nice. But other than getting very late Zora, which led to last locationing the flippers, it was pretty good scene.
Did you feel you were behind at any point?
Definitely not in the beginning. I for like a second, I thought maybe I might have been behind when I got the flippers, but not really. Because you had to, you know, dip Turtle Rock. If you left it early, you could potentially have to go back, and that would suck. Then you had to go to Meyer for your flippers. So, not really, but a little bit. Just because I could have had the mirror a lot sooner.
did see some. I'm not too sure what to call it, but for example, like it looked like you went up Death Mountain almost on your way to Turtle Rock or something, and then you turned around and went to Desert.
Yeah, I was gonna go to Turtle Rock then, but I was like, wait a minute, the mirror I can do Desert, so I was like, let me make sure nothing's there before I head into Turtle Rock. Yeah, I had a couple moments where I was like, maybe I should do this instead. So.
Did you feel pretty good going into Enemizer Week? I mean,
yes and no. The last two I did went a lot worse than this. Although I don't know, they're pretty good overall. But if you have like a really bad start, like an Agaseed into no progression and it's linear, sometimes they can feel like a slug. But this one just felt really good. I had like what, I think 4 crystals a little bit over an hour in. Got a little bit slower after that, but
was there anything in particular that kind of frustrated you? I don't know, frustrate's a bit word, but kind of made you think, oh, this is gonna be this is gonna be for a long haul.
I guess after I'd cleared the 4 dungeons and I had to like go back to check some like beginning dungeons, I thought it might get a little worse, or like, because what did I miss? I orphaned Agina and Ice Rod Cave and the Front of Escape and what was the other one? Eastern. So I was like, let me cover my bases to make sure I didn't miss anything. Yeah, when I saw Ether was in Purple Chest, I kind of had a feeling we were gonna eventually have to go into Turtle Rock, unfortunately, but it wasn't too bad.
all right, that brings your team up to 2 wins. How are you feeling about that?
Pretty good, yeah. It's nice to get some early wins in the season because this group. I think going forward, the games are going to get exponentially harder in the league in our division. But I'm excited to face some really good people. See how it goes.
Yeah, well, the settings are definitely getting harder as we go week by week.
Yeah, I love cross keys though, so I'm really excited for that. And I've done some of the other, like the co-op races and or the spoiler log and the co-op all dungeons. They're pretty fun if you get a group of people and you run the same seed.
So it looks like these 2 teams are going for a rematch on Saturday. That's between Floyd and Virtua Cat. Any thoughts on that matchup?
That should be a pretty good match. I'm excited to see Floyd play again. He was off last week. Hopefully he won't have another seed like mine where I don't know. Zora seems to always have progression for me and him lately, so.
Yeah, I think it's particularly bad in Enemizer because it can be really hard to fake flipper up there. I think we saw that you got hit by that, right?
Oh yeah, the bird. I was so worried about the enemy on the left because sometimes there's like bad enemies over there. I saw the archer. I was like, all right, sweet, we'll go to the right. We'll go to the right. And if I saw the bird sooner and got to land, it would have been much better. But what are you gonna do? Can't be too mad about that in Enemizer. Figured it was worth a shot. And then also Thieves Town. It was nice to know early that we were gonna have a Trinex. that also sucks in Randomizer when you're almost through the seed and you're about to go to GT and you haven't seen one yet. And you're like, God, am I still hunting for the ice rod? Although the ice rod was a fairly nice location this seed, so.
So looking forward, you've got that second win now. Let me just take a look real quick here with the league. I didn't have the league standings up at the moment, but I know where to get them at. Just trying to. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off there.
No, I think we're 2 and 3. I think now.
I think so. Yeah, that should be right because this would be everyone's 5th match this week. Late World Conference. There we go. Yeah. Lake Hylia division. Pretty stacked division here. Got 2 Pearl, 2 Furious is. No, that's a pretty stacked team too. So you got for 16-bit nerds. This week, you guys. Next week, you have 3rd strongest mole this week, and then Utang Clan next week. Puck Trio coming up after that. So that's a big team, you know, between Wadey and Andy and Futon. So that's a team I think a lot of people would expect to do really well. Immortals are doing really well as well. You guys have already played them. So yeah, there's certainly a lot of good matchups here, especially because next week you've got. I love this with the names that they've chosen for themselves. Old Ducky B, aka Apathy Duck, Method Thought, Emo Star, and Shiza, aka Soul Seed. So they've all got meme Wu-Tang Clan photos for their profiles. This is dedication to craft for your theming. But yeah, this should be a good matchup for you guys next week. You'll both have looks like at least both have 2 wins, depending on the outcome of the 2 Pearl, 2 Furious Wu-Tang Clan games from this week.
Yeah, next week should be pretty good. I think it'll be some pretty good matches. My teammates will be playing that week, and they're pretty big into mystery, so we're hoping to have some good games that week. And then I'm actually very excited for week 5 because Cross Keys is probably my best mode of anything. So that should be an exciting week.
Yeah, and that's the week you guys play Pug Trio, so that'll be a really good test for where you're at. Obviously. Of course, for those who don't know, on 16-bit nerds, Flipheal's teammates are Akir and Floyd, and I know we saw Floyd in the chat earlier cheering you on. DrunkFutureSelf is continuing to pick up those last crystals and make this way up to
Yep, props to him for closing the seed out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, those flippers were.
Go ahead.
Oh no, yeah, I was just gonna say, those flippers were being in a pretty bad spot. At least he gets you got the go mode this dungeon, and GT Big Key was really nice. So if he goes left, he'll be moving along quick.
Yeah, it looks like he's gonna go to 2 in the potion shop. Pick up some safeties, so can't blame him.
Yeah, it's a good play. You don't know what's in the climb, and it's good to just have some extra safeties.
Yeah, the gauntlet itself wasn't too bad. Getting to the gauntlet, I definitely struggled a bit. There were some nasty enemies in that one room switch. And I'm also glad that Helmasaur was not in Moldorn too, because I think that's my least favorite fight of Enemizer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it just takes forever, even with bombs or whatever option you decide to do. It loves to hug that side.
Do we remember which sword that DrunkFutureSelf didn't pick up?
No, I don't know. I think there was one that was in a big chest somewhere that maybe might have got missed.
Did he leave Turtle Rock after getting the No, it was before, or was it before Turtle Rock? I forget if it was the Turtle Rock big chest or not.
I remember you getting the butter sword and then fighting some Hinoxes with them. Where was that?
I remember I had it for Landmo, but I don't remember where I fought.
Alright, DrunkFutureSelf grabbing his big key. He's gonna check a couple more chests here.
Also, I think I miscounted Skull Woods, because I don't remember getting the silvers in there. I thought I had 2 items. I guess I left after doing the back.
Yeah, I missed where it was exactly, but it is in the front of Skullwoods. How DrunkFutureSelf does on the gauntlet over here. It's got 2 hearts, which was similar to the state that Flipheal was in, and he's gonna take the safety room as well.
I think that's the exact amount of hearts I had when I came in here as well.
Did you have any unfortunate deaths? I don't remember off the top of my head.
I did have one. It was an early dungeon. Oh, it was the attic at Thieves Town, or right before the attic.
Oh, that's right. The room after the hallway, right?
Yeah, and Flipheal did have, remember that death from the bird swimming up to
yeah.
the waterfall cave.
That one didn't feel as bad as the Thieves Town one, though. The Thieves Town one hurt a little bit. Especially when I remembered I had the hookshot right after. But
Did you think about leaving it behind Because I think you knew there were only 2 items at that point, right? Or no, you just said, I
Nah,
gotta go back in right away.
Yeah, I just figured I would clear everything. I don't want to miss anything. I was feeling pretty ahead too, so I figured the more checks I get in the beginning without missing anything, the better.
Alright. Well, I mean, it was definitely good for you because of the Kena Samaria back there. Yourself doing he's utilizing his knowledge here that the bombs killed the Hinoxes in 1 hit. So I'm gonna try going for bomb strats here on Helma.
Not a bad idea. If you want to avoid some of the peskiness of the fireball.
Yeah. It does make it a lot laggy though when the bombs go off.
It's true.
And I think Trinex was the only boss that we had to come back to today, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, I didn't have to go back for anything else. Skullwood's boss, I think, was pretty tame. I don't know if he had to go back for anything, but I'm guessing not.
Here we see that Bombos and Enemizer is always a nice backup strat.
Yeah, it's always nice to have a medallion that lets you clear the whole room out.
This spike here.
This was not a friendly spike.
Yeah, this one you can kind of brute force your way around. I think having a chain chomp here is slightly worse.
Oh, chain chomp just about anywhere is slightly worse, but there, that's particularly bad.
I can't even remember. Did we see any chain chomps this seed?
I don't think so. I don't recall seeing one.
Last shot of Four-Eyed Moldorm for today.
The good news for DrunkFutureSelf is that means you're almost done. We get to see here if DrunkFutureSelf can get the same geometry that Flip got.
Alright, Drunk Future Self. Gonna head into the Ganon fight. Tempered in silvers. So hopefully he won't have too many problems.
I'm using a blue potion there just to deal with the cannon hugs and fire bats.
Gotta be careful to not fall down here. Four silver arrows and Drunk Future Self. Stunned with the Ganon fight.
Yes, indeed.
Finishing with an official SRL time of 2:13:56. GG's to Drunk Future Self.
Indeed. Get those GGs in chat, everybody. Wrap this one up, and we'll get Drunk Future Self.
Hello.
Hey,
GG's.
GG, man.
So it looked like you were having a little bit of problems there. How did you feel during the seed?
I mean, I felt a little behind, but then when I got up to Zora, got the mirror, then I just turned around and I got the mirror and then just headed out, and then I blue screened my computer.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
I don't think we saw
Sorry to
that.
hear that.
We thought your internet had gone out or something.
No, right after that, I had to get my computer up and running, get the stream up and going, just a whole bunch of problems after.
Did you lose a bunch of progress?
Just the mirror.
Well, that's not too bad. When did you get the mirror? Because I got that, I think after my 4th crystal. I don't know if you got it sooner or not.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, it's always regrettable when stuff like that happens. Any thoughts on the seed though, and the way the progression turned out?
I'm trying to remember it. It's just so stressful.
Well, we had early mitts and flute, and then I think the boots were in Meyer Shed, which led to the hammer, which opened a lot in King's Tomb.
Yeah, I felt really behind when I just skipped the checks in the forest. Like, I missed so many checks in the beginning that I just wasn't thinking about them, and I just passed them, and I'm like, oh, right, I need to go back and check those, and then they were not.
Yeah, that was definitely a divergence early on. Flip pretty much went straight to Meyer Shed as soon as he got Dark World access, but it took you quite a while to pick up your boots over there. All right, any thoughts or advice to your teammate who's going to be facing off 16-bit nerds on Saturday, it looks like?
Don't last location things?
Always good advice.
Solid strategy. Ooh, I love that item on pedestal. That felt good. Seeing an unknown shield up there.
All right, any last thoughts or comments by either of the runners?
Thank you for the restream and the tracking and everything you guys.
Same as well. Thank you very much for doing that. All that.
Yeah, go ahead and give both these runners a follow. They blasted through the seed. It's unfortunate about the computer issues, but yeah, GG's to both of you.
Thank you.
Indeed, GG's, and make sure to follow both DrunkFutureSelf and Flipheal. See their channels there in the chat provided to us by wonderful Nightbot. Thank you, Nightbot, for being so nice and body. And of course, we couldn't have done any of this hard work without Lumaga. So, Lumaga, thank you so much for the hard work of doing all the tracking for us. A lot of stuff to keep an eye on. Oh, it's Yoinker's wife. Okay. My mistake. So, yeah, make sure to follow Yoinker's wife as well. Yoinker's wife, thank you so much for doing all of the hard tracking work as always for us. Yoinker's wife always does a really, really good job with tracking. I'm always really happy to have her on board. And of course, Purity Wong, thank you so much, my friend, for co-commenting with me tonight. It's been a pleasure.
Yep, you as well. Give Neon Tiger a follow as well. And there are no more races tonight for ALTTPR League, but they will start up again tomorrow. More Enemizer goodness. First match will be Slowpoke versus Fear Agent, happening at 12 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time.
Indeed, and I'll be on the Speed Gaming channel. I always call it Speed Gaming 1. It's the original Speed Gaming channel. There'll be more matches and actually looking like they're gonna stack up through the evening, starting at about 6 o'clock Eastern on Speed Gaming, Speed Gaming 2, Speed Gaming 3. All of the Speed Gaming channels tomorrow have a race on them at some point. Let's leave it at that. So you want to follow Speed Gaming and then Speed Gaming 2 through 5. I think I don't think we're using 6 at the moment, but you can follow that as well. That pops in very rarely, as well as following this channel, the ALTTPR League 2, and the 2 other channels. Both will have matches on them tomorrow. The ALTTPR League with no number at the end of it, and then the ALTTPR League 3 will also have a match. In fact, Purity, that's going to be your match tomorrow night. We'll be on the ALTTPR League 3, so that'll be the last match of the night. Hope you're ready and rested for that one.
Yeah, don't watch that one unless you want to see chaos. But thanks for watching, everybody, and good night.
Indeed. Remember, someone out there loves you and we love you too. Take care of yourselves and have a good night.